bags where horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And this evening, for our 1983 week, I decided to bring you the Twilight Zone the movie. So this is a anthology, the compilation of heavyweight directors. Steven Spielberg, George Miller, Joe Dante, and of course John Landis. We start out. So the start of our movie, we have the Dan Aykroyd. I can't remember the other guy's name, but he's like a hitchhiker, Dan Aykroyd, and he's been picked up and has been taken somewhere. They're in the kind of like in the middle of nowhere. And I love how this one is put together. It's kind of like lulling you into like a full sense of security kind of thing. It's like, oh, this is cool. He's just been picked up. He's been hitchhiking. So they're chatting, they're humming these different theme tunes and stuff like that. And it's pretty fun. And then there's a reveal of creature feature Aykroyd. And then we kind of jump into our first segment, Time Out. So this is the John Landis one. So this has Vic Morrow, who is fantastic in this, actually. He's just an American guy who's super pissed off and super racist. He didn't get a promotion that he was kind of really needing. So he's a stressed out guy, but his kind of views on people's ethnicity and things like that. I think even for the time they were outdated, but still very prevalent with things which are going on in the early 80s. So it's kind of like how this was kind of really heavy with it. He's like, fuck, is nasty, is horrible. And so he gets kind of pushed back through time. It's kind of weird. He leaves this bar where he is causing a scene and stuff like that, and then he's kind of pushed back to instance in World War II, which is going on, like Nazi. I'm not sure where it is. Maybe it's Nazi occupied France. I can't remember now. Damn it, I can't remember. So he's being like chased by the Nazis, and then he kind of goes back to, I'm not 100% sure when it is, but it's kind of around early 20th century, most likely with 20s, 30s, something like that. Anyway, it's Ku Klux Klan, and so they see him as a black person rather. He's kind of realizing that they don't see him for who he is, for who he actually is. He's seeing as what they hate, kind of. It's the same with the Nazis, and now he's like seen as this black person that obviously the Ku Klux Klan just trying to lynch him and kill him. And then he gets thrown into the Vietnam War. So he looks like Vietnamese when he's trying to get some help from the American soldiers. And this is the segment that's kind of heavily cut, because obviously there's that huge tragedy where there's they had an actual live helicopter with all these different explosions going on. They had all these light rigging. And Vic Morrow, I don't know why he would ever do this, but he was there with these two children. And he's, regardless of anything, this must have been scary as shit for these children. Obviously what happened is tragic, but all these explosions, water being, like a helicopter above, is being dragged through this water. But the tragedy was that the helicopter caught up in some lighting cables or something and came down on top of Vic Morrow and his children, killing them instantly, which was horrific. There's a long ensuing court case and things. It was a defining moment in cinema for health and safety. It was a defining moment for Spielberg, I think, with his career. What was his words, like growing up, I think, is like it's films, you shouldn't die for films and things like that. And it's true, like health and safety, like how this was all set up. It's like this situation should never have happened, but things were a lot different back then. It's like health and safety was like not as prevalent as it is now. It was like, we'll just do it, it's all right. And obviously that point was a changing point. Too late, unfortunately, for like the children and Vic Morrow, but at least changes were made, and health and safety has been a lot better since then. Landis was subsequently cleared of wrongdoing as an accident and stuff like that, but a lot of bad feeling with that. But anyway, it's a fantastic segment. It's before I go into the ones, it's by far the strongest segment for me. I really do love the segment. It's a shame it got cut. Completely understand why things got cut, and it's a little different to maybe how it would have been. Like you would have seen him kind of saving the children, a little bit of retribution to his character, but it wasn't able to be done, obviously, for a different reason. Well, we know why. But let's jump to the next one, which would be Kick the Can. This is the Spielberg one. This is kind of very different coming from the Time Out. It's like, this is a very feel good movie. It's like these older people in this retirement home, and yeah, I can't remember the character's name. I should really made some notes on this, but it's I can't even remember the character's name. The guy from The Shining. Anyway, he gets the axe to the chest. But anyway, he's kind of like, for all these old people, they're like, they're kind of told, don't do this, don't do that. Just kind of basically sit quietly and die. Kind of basically how it is. But he comes along, he's like, look, you are still young at heart. You are still kind of yourselves. And it's like, enjoy your life. Enjoy your memories and things. And he offers them out for a game of Kick the Can. A very old game. And so they're out playing it in the middle of the night, and they turn to children. And then he's asking if it's like they want to stay as children. Well, he's kind of giving them this chance, but they're like, well, I've had my life. I've earned my memories. I've earned, like, if I go back to a child now, I'm not going to have my life. It will be new again. I won't have my husband and things like that. And it's very heartfelt. It's very well acted and very well put together. And one of them actually decides to continue being a child. And then there's this other kind of person from the home, and they kind of have regret about being, they're very dismissive of everything. It's like, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And he kind of sees the error of his ways, and afterwards he's kind of seen kicking the can outside, and it's like, it's kind of, yeah, he's realized what kind of to take and enjoy your life, however long you have left. 1 month, 1 year, 10 years. It's like, make the most of what you have. It's kind of how I took it anyway. But the next one, it's Dante's kind of goofy, cartoony almost. It's a Good Life. So you have this Anthony kid, and he's anything he thinks can happen. So he's got this family, and they kind of do anything that he wants. He's very frustrated because they're not happy, because he's like, well, you don't have to do anything. But they're still living in fear all the time, because he gets a bit angry and annoyed sometimes and does some naughty things. And when there's nothing to stop you, you can do whatever you want. Obviously, his naughty things can be quite bad. But he's in this diner, and he befriends this woman who in the end kind of decides to help him. She's like, help him through this. It's like, well, we can live with this. I can kind of help you live with these things. So it's kind of like she's going to be his teacher and his kind of student sort of thing. And yeah, it's kind of a feel-good movie. It's like she becomes the parent sort of thing. And kind of like, yeah, bits of feel-good. You have some, yeah, these two middle segments are kind of have these kind of feel-good kind of stories, how they are, and have these kind of morals to them. No, they all have morals to them. Well, maybe not Nightmare at 20,000 feet. That probably doesn't have any morals. But we have this is the famous kind of remake from one of the most famous episodes. So we had Shatner in the episode. Now we have John Lithgow. And we kind of know what happens with this one. You have this goblin, impy kind of creature thing that's attacking the engines of this plane. And he's freaking out. And it's filmed really well. Lithgow is really kind of... And this is the Miller one. So Mr. Mad Max himself. So George Miller, yeah, it's really good. Really, like Lithgow is brilliant and engaging on this one. Like how he is, it's awesome. It's like he's so scared, and he really genuinely feel like his fear and how scared he is. And yeah, everyone knows that one. It's a famous one. And then it kind of wraps up at the end when he's going off in the ambulance after the plane has landed, or the engine's fucked basically. They're like, geez, what's happened here? And he's going off to the hospital, and then the ambulance driver is Mr. Dan Aykroyd from the start. Yeah, very, very, very good anthology. One I don't actually own on Blue, and I love anthologies. I have quite a lot of them. And I really need to try and track this one down. I think it's a little bit of a tricky one to get. At least I should just get it on DVD. I was streaming it through Tubi. But yeah, I need some sort of physical release. This needs a decent Blue, actually. Someone needs to really kind of grapple the rights on this one and give us a nice, excellent Blue. But anyway, that's the end of the review. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. A film I very much enjoy. I must admit the flow is a little strange. I don't know if what tends to happen, as you know, with segments on these things, sometimes they get changed around. I don't know if there's any change around with these ones, but I don't know how you could make these flow really well, because they're quite juxtaposed, some of them. Especially when you look at Time Out to Kick the Can, it's like, yeah, there's very faint red thread that runs through these. And not even all the way through them, because Nightmare at 20,000, that's kind of like, it's a famous episode, let's remake that one. Yeah, so they're kind of almost four standalone things, and it's like, that does work as well, but I must admit, I do kind of like it when they with anthologies, that if they thread together, it just adds a little bit more credence to them. But anyway, this is a fun one anyway. I do enjoy this one, and I recommend it if you've not seen it. That's the end of the review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.